Hi, and welcome back to Fresh BCSC Tech. In this video, I'm going to give you a short tutorial on how you can make your images that you might be including on a project more accessible to your learners by adding alt text or captions to your images. So, what is alt text and why does it matter? Alt text or alternative text is helpful because it gives a description to an image you might have on your slide, a doc, a form, a site, or a sheet. And this image description is great for a variety of reasons. Number one, it's another support for students who might need to see the text and the image. It's helpful for anyone that might be using a screen reader when they're looking at your documents. Screen readers help read web pages and text and now even pictures aloud so someone can see something and get a better idea of what it might look like or included an image with an audio description. It helps some of our students and learners who might be low vision or might have cognitive disabilities that rely on screen readers to help them develop an understanding. Alt text is also great because if an image doesn't load all the way on a website, the alt text will show up in place of that picture. So if your website isn't loading, you still get an idea of what would have been included in that picture in the first place. And it's really easy to add. It's a part of the web accessibility standards and is something that web developers and anyone who works in user design experience is coached on how to do this. It's a requirement. And there's lots of research and websites out there that you can use to get more information on this. But to add it into a Google project, it's simple. You can really do this in two ways. So if I added a picture like I have here on my slide, it's the same keyboard shortcuts and process no matter what Google tool you're working on. I can right-click my picture, and then it brings up this menu. My cursor was just on it. I can click Alt Text, and it brings up a window where I can type in that description. The other way of doing this is to use a keyboard shortcut. So I will select my picture, and then I'll use the keyboard shortcut Control-Alt-Y, and it brings up the same window. So what this does is it gives you the opportunity to add in your alt text for anyone who might be using a screen reader or wants to use this support. And the key thing with alt text is to be specific, but also descriptive at the same time. So don't include any unnecessary keywords, but also don't be too vague. So you want to have a quick little description here that isn't paragraphs of text because that can be confusing for someone who's using a screen reader. But you also want to try to give them information on what is included in this picture. So an example of good alt text for this, if you are a baseball fan, this is Javier Baez. He's a baseball player for the Chicago Cubs. I could say for my alt text, all right. So I have added on here batting from home plate. I don't know what baseball field this is from. So if I just add, he's batting from home plate, that gives me a good description there. And then I can add, I can usually put the same thing down here unless I have more content to add, but this is what the screen reader would read out loud to someone who is looking at this. An example of a bad alt text would be to say baseball player hitting in a baseball park, right? That does not give me the same level of description here. So it's important to be kind of succinct with your alt text, but also include some specific details. All right. And the other helpful thing to do is to add captions beside or near your pictures as well, just to give another option for representation there, another visual text support to accompany the picture. So I could add the same thing as my alt text here. That gives me some examples of how to use alt text.